Happy Sunday, October 25th. I'm Bob Phibbs, the Retail Doc. Thanks for joining me live today. And do me a favor, wherever you're joining me in from, just type in where you are joining from. I know we have people who watch all across the world, and I am thrilled that you are here with me today. I am thinking about how to make things a little differently. I'm using yet another platform today as I go through, and hopefully the comments will all come through just fine, and I will see you all during it. But if for some reason I don't, then I will go through and I will respond afterwards. So I didn't get any questions this week, and I decided, I got one reaction. There we go. There's Carolyn. Sweet. All right, there we go. So the comments are working on this platform. So I didn't get any questions yesterday, so I reached into my bag of tricks and I decided that a virtual presentation that I had just done with the city of Birmingham, Michigan last week would give me the chance to introduce you to someone who I think had a great idea, and her name is Beth Hussey, and she'll talk about it in just a second, but so many people have been sending me emails or direct messages. What am I going to do to make our downtown, particularly smaller boutiques or downtown areas, how can we go through and get something different? How do we get a different buzz other than, we're limited to 25% people that can walk in the door, and et cetera, and masks, and we might be locked down again, et cetera. So I'm going to get to her in just a second, but if you would do me a favor and make sure that you give me some love. If I don't get love, the algorithm is down. It's funny, I was looking at my statistics and talking to friends of mine, and we have all noticed that our engagements on Facebook have gone down significantly in the last couple months. Part of it is you're all getting back to work, so that's good. Yay, you're all back in your stores. But you're probably not in your stores on Sunday at 9 a.m. But still, people are noticing that what Facebook is pretty much doing is it's a pay-to-play service now. So if you want to get in front of someone, you're going to have to pay them. In fact, yesterday when I put out my request for comments, only 100 of you saw it out of 17,000 followers. So I figured, all right, well, I don't have any comments. I don't have any questions today, but I want to answer this general idea of what do we do to be able to get people to come into our store. And I want to introduce you now to Beth. And Beth, tell me about it. If you could just walk me through, last year, you came up with this idea, and what was the inspiration for it, and how did you execute it the first year last year?
Sure, yes. Well, it basically started, we're a full service restaurant, a popular place that's open for lunch and dinner. And it started as a way to sort of a team building exercise for my employees. So I have a big staff, and we divided all of the employees up into teams, and each team decorated a Christmas tree. So it was a Christmas tree decorating contest. And, they were encouraged to get together, put their heads together, work together. And we ended up having 8 teams that all decorated the Christmas tree. And then each team was responsible for sort of going out and raising funds. So the idea was to get people to vote for their favorite tree. And the way that people voted was by donating money. So the tree that raised the most money won a great big prize that was divided between the teams. So it was really cool. We chose a charity to go along with it. And we chose a charity that really the staff and management team chose the charity together, something that's near and dear to our hearts, and something that they really wanted to pick a charity that they could give and sort of see, touch, and feel the results. And they chose foster teens that are about to age out of the system. So it's a really sad story what happens. These foster kids, if you're a teenager in the foster care system, the chances are you've been in the system for a long time. And as you grow older, your chances of being adopted become, less and less. And the thought, and also being paired with a foster family becomes less and less as you get older. So these kids have likely been in a foster home or a group home or an orphanage type thing. And then the day they turn 18, they're basically cut off from the system, and they're set out into the world with little or no resources, and they haven't had a lot of support during their teenage years. So it's a really sad story. that not many people think about. So our
Yeah,
mission
well,
is to raise awareness.
well, that's great. And I shared a few pictures from last year. And now this year, something is different in the city of Birmingham, Michigan. You're bringing this to the whole downtown, aren't you?
Yeah, we are. So the idea was to, the original idea was hopefully to turn it into something big. And actually this year, with COVID happening, it's sort of that played in our favor. So I guess the silver lining, because all of the normally scheduled events, that are normally, big groups, that would happen in the community of Birmingham are canceled because of COVID. So the timing was just perfect where we could present our idea to the Birmingham shopping district, and everybody loved it. And all the city officials are on board and in support. Basically what we're doing is we've invited every merchant in the downtown development area, the downtown shopping district, to compete, decorate a Christmas tree. And we're competing for a total of a $10,000 prize. And the establishment that raises the most money for their tree will win. Okay. So the hope is that people will come from all over to do their shopping and dining during the holiday season, and they'll go around and enjoy all the outrageous Christmas trees and give a little money back that people will vote with their dollars.
Well, it's so fun, and you made them special to, the different types. I loved one of the Christmas trees last year was all napkins. You could see some housewares doing that. I love the bodybuilder pulling the tree down. You could see a gym doing that. And the whole spirit of it is fun. And what I really like, those of you who are watching at home, for you downtown associations, what do I also really like about it? It's not revolving around, we're going to give everybody an extra 20% off if they come in today. It's like, no. We're going to create an event that makes people feel better when they come into our store. It's going to give back to our community, and it's going to give us something to talk about other than, we might lock down next week. Right?
Yeah,
I mean,
right.
That's what we need hope and the holiday season. So tell me, I know you've got a lunch crowd probably starting up there. So what would your advice be if somebody was trying to bring this to a downtown area? Did you find a lot of resistance from merchants, or what took getting the city officials involved?
Well, first it was a matter of just presenting the concept to in every community there's either a principal shopping district or a downtown development authority, and those are the folks. Every city should have an events committee of some sort. So the first step is present the idea and the concept to the events committee. Once you have them on board, the rest is pretty easy. The folks in that position on the committee will take care of the rest of the bureaucracy that needs to take place.
Okay.
But my advice is, just don't worry. Don't try to get, for me, I just sort of went Rambo into the idea last year. Didn't put a lot of thought into it. If I wait for everything to be perfect, it might never happen. So I just, go for it. You have an idea and run with it. And
Good.
Hopefully all those things will follow.
And what's the cutoff day for judging? Is it Christmas Eve?
So, Christmas Day, that's what it was for us last year, was Christmas Eve. And then we had a big party back when we could have parties at the restaurant, sort of a holiday happy hour kind of a thing, where we announced how much we raised, and it was like one last fundraising effort. It was a lot of fun. We were able to raise almost $16,000, so $1,900 and some change. A check for $1,900 and some change went to 8 different kids.
Wow.
So for every tree that gets decorated this year in the city of Birmingham, we'll add one more child to the recipient list. And all the money that's raised will be divided evenly between all the kids. And it was great. One kid got adopted and got to spend Christmas Day with a family. One of the kids works here in my kitchen. When he turned 18, he came and worked for me. And so it doesn't just stop at the check, it's sort of a way to sort of help these kids and get them out into the world and give them a support network of some sort.
I am so thrilled with you. I totally love the idea and your spirit, and the idea of taking care of our local community. It's a project that has a face, right? It's got legs on it, so it's not just we're doing this one thing, we're going to decorate trees. It's like, no, there's multiple parts, and then any retailer, any small business in downtown can join in at whatever level, but there is a camaraderie between the merchants and with the community. And you know what? You're not going to get that with the big boxes.
Yeah.
So my
Yeah.
hat's off to you. You are my hero this holiday season. I am so thrilled just to know there are people like you out in the world. And I know that there are people watching this from around the world who are inspired by your story and just saying, I may not think everything through, but I'm going to go for it, which is basically what you did last year. So again,
Yep.
fabulous job. Thanks so much for joining me
Thanks,
today.
Bob.
And I have to say, I see several of you. Stacy, happy tears on a Sunday morning. That's right. I want to thank Beth for joining me this morning. This is their board committee that they have working on the program this year, which is very exciting. And I wanted to give you a few examples, and then I'm going to talk about it a little bit more here today. So some of the examples that I think were just so much fun. And, you could do a Pinterest board. You could go through, because a lot of people are like, well, I don't know what I would do. Well, here's some great examples. So a home goods store, just doing on the wall with napkins, right? Trying to come up with what makes your business different. What's something that is fun? And quite simply, that's right, Jill, collaboration at its finest. So think of all the legs, and when I say legs, that means, this touches so many different areas that you can get behind, right? So number one, what sticks in your mind immediately when you see this is, oh, this is an Instagrammable moment. Damn right it's Instagrammable. So when people come into your store, they're going to take pictures of it. They're going to tell the story. And notice again, I never knew this story about adoption, but how it's local and it's real people and it's really touching lives. People are actually able to jump into this at different levels and say, I want to get on board on that. At the end, I'll tell you about Lemonade Day and what I did with that up here in Greene County. It's a similar idea, but it's based on how do I make a difference really locally that's devoid of politics, it's devoid of association with a lot of religious organizations. It comes down to something that, whether you are selling high-end goods or low-end, you're in one part of town or another, demographics, whether you're a red or blue state or whatever, everybody should be able to go, like you are probably right now, going, I could support this, right? And if you like this, do me a favor, give us some thumbs up and give us some love. I see a lot of you already have. I don't know why one person is angry. That I'll never quite understand what the angry motive is, but okay, whatever. Here's another one that I really liked, a little lighting store and how they did it. Here's another one that I thought was brilliant. A menswear store did theirs out of ties. What's so cool about it is if you use what's unique to your business, then it's another way of showing all that you do. And instead of saying like, oh, and here's an ugly sweater t-shirt, you're actually getting people to actually look at your merchandise, to look at what you offer, which isn't that kind of the whole point of a great promotion? So many people were so bummed, they canceled all of our events. Well, find something new to do. And again, notice you could do this as a live Facebook video, right? You could go from store to store. You could, each day you could show a different one. There are so many ways your local business district could do this. Now, some of you might say, well, but I'm not, I don't have a local downtown. Well, you still, look, this all started with Beth doing it in her restaurant and saying there's a need, I can find support in it. And because she's actually able to tell the story, that one young person was able to spend the holiday with a family. She was able to employ someone else. You don't know where all the good is going to come from. But I'll tell you, in my 62 years of life on this planet, I know one thing. If you just help enough people get what they want, you're going to get what you want. But you got to put just the wrong word. You got to put the wood into the fireplace before it's going to give you heat. So many people right now are kind of sitting around looking at that stove like, damn, no one's coming in or no one. And those of you who are doing great, wonderful. You're riding a tide, a tailwind, and it's great to have a lot of business. But make no mistake, you're riding a tailwind right now. You still have to worry about it just as much as everybody else does. And how can you go through and make sure that you are being proactive in your community? Because I'll tell you, Gen Z and millennials, this is what they work for. This is what they shop for. Do you have a place in making the world a better place? If you do, they're going to support you. They're going to tell your story. If you are found wanting and they can't see it and they don't know it, they'll probably buy online or somewhere else with somebody else who has done it. And one more I like, this is a lighting store. I thought it was great. They did it by silhouette. And I think I have one more here. Yeah, and this is a lighting store with all of their little light shades for things. So my goal today was, you didn't give me any questions, so I went out and I said, all right, I'm going to share this with you. Next week, I'm going to share a very special guest of mine, Mike Sheldrake. He is the guy that essentially put me into orbit, and it wasn't an association that either one of us thought was going to end up that way. He's actually going to be on my Facebook Live next week, and you can hear from him what it was like to have to reinvent his business after 23 years when 2 locations are about to descend on him, and what he's done in the time to make sure that he became a household name. So my whole goal for you today is to encourage you and to remind you that there is a lot of hope out there. There's a lot of reasons we need to stay focused. There's a lot of things that we need to go and say, put on my big boy pants, put on my big girl pants. How am I able to serve other people first? And ultimately, how am I able to make the world a better place? That's why I do this. I like to be able to to get you to be able to join into that vision, to show you what other people are doing, because there's a lot of people out there with open hearts and are out touching base with people. And if you want to know more about me, certainly check out Sales RX. We're in the middle of our holiday sprint. We have, I think, 50-some people who are taking Sales RX right now and making sure that they can engage a stranger, discover the shopper, and make the sale. Make no mistake, these things are wonderful to do, but sometimes we get so caught up in doing Instagram or Facebook or all these other tasks that we forget. It doesn't matter unless you make a sale. It's great to have sales goals, but you need to close a sale, which means you need to have employees who are not just nice or friendly. They have to understand how to close a sale. And if you're interested in how to learn more about that, then you should certainly check out Sales RX and join me there. So I hope I gave you some great ideas. I gave you some fun. Notice again, this started with the merchants. I think the other thing that really resonated with me is Beth did this on her own. She didn't wait for somebody. She went through and said, this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to make a difference in the world. And then she was able to ride that and then get the story out and have everybody aligned. And now because of her interest, she's able to get more people. So if you're just waiting around like, my promotions and events people don't do anything. Or you have someone that's just, oh, we used to do stroll and savers and we can't but we can't. Well, then what can we do? Because the person that says they can't and the person that says they can are both right. You know that and I know that. Either make a way or find a way, but damn it, shut the hell up and get out of my way and let me make a difference. Let me carry the torch that says I am not going to give in to gloom and doom this holiday season. I am not going to listen to people telling me that it's all online and that's the only way to go. Yes, there's a lot of channels we have to use, curbside BOPAs, but make no mistake, if you can't open your heart to another human being, then all is lost. And we are getting more cynical and sour with every day we get closer to this election and even on the other side of it. And we've got to guard our minds because we are being programmed to feel fear and to feel bad. And if you don't want to do that, then I encourage you to follow me next week when you hear from Mike Sheldrake with Polly's Gourmet Coffee. If you like what I had to say today, do me a favor. Give me some love. Give me some thumbs up. Because otherwise Facebook isn't going to show it to enough people. And if you really like it, why don't you share it with people and give me some shout outs? I would appreciate that. I'm Bob Phibbs, the Retail Doc. Thanks for joining me today. Have a great week.